Namaste. Today, we will talk about chapter 7 of the Stri Dharma Paddhatih, which is about Gomaya Lepanam or smearing cow dung. When this is mentioned, those who have worked with Gomata or have the experience of smearing cow dung or have even studied this subject in a scholarly fashion will mention a few typical reasons why this is done. For example, when we smear cow dung in the front yard or in the home itself, if the flooring is made of mud, then it provides disinfectant properties because cow dung is well known to be an insecticide, a pesticide, a germicide. It has detox properties as well, and there are many studies which mention this. So those who know by experience will say that by smearing cow dung, mosquitoes, flies, and small poisonous insects will be kept away. Another reason is that cow dung has good binding property because of its fiber content. If the flooring is traditionally made of mud, then doing the lepanam or the smearing or plastering with cow dung will prevent the cracking of mud. It is also well known that it has good thermal regulation properties, which means a home where cow dung is smeared will neither get too cold in winter nor too hot in summer. It regulates the climate within the home. There are studies which corroborate and support all these statements. They're also mentioned in the book. The surprising part is none of these properties of smearing cow dung is mentioned in the Stri Dharma Paddhatih. Instead, it only mentions one verse, which says that smearing cow dung will prevent sorrow, dukkha. The verse is like this. Pratah kale striya karyam gomaye nanu lepanam pratyaham sadane tasma naiva dukkhani pashyati. Women should plaster their homes with gomaya, a mix of cow dung and cow urine, in the dawn. If they do this every day in their home, they will not experience sorrow in life. The Shastras are called sacred texts because what is given in it is beyond the obvious. That which can be known through science or through just a little bit of experience is not always included in the Shastras. So when we read something in the Shastra, we must realize that the meaning that may come to us through worldly understanding might not even scratch the surface of the information. The Shastras reveal that which is adrishta. Adrishta means that which cannot be directly perceived by the senses. So when the Shastras say that Gomaya prevents dukkha or sorrow, it is talking about one of these adrishta reasons. And we will look into how cow dung has this ability to prevent sorrow, or we can even say depression. But before that, we have to be clear about which cow we are talking about. Every time Gomata is mentioned in the Vedic texts, we have to realize that they are talking about the indigenous, the native, the Desi Gomata. These are the Gomatas who are the direct descendants of the divine Gomata Surabhi, who resides in the Goloka. All this is mentioned in the Mahabharata Anushasanika Parva from chapter 81 onwards. Those of us who are born during or after the milk revolution may not be able to recognize the difference between the native breeds of Bharat and the imported, the foreign breeds. So let's first have some understanding of how to externally know which is the Desi Gomata and which one is not. Because the use of the cow dung should be the cow dung of the Desi Gomata. The native breeds of Bharat are called Bos indicus, and the ones that have come from other countries, such as the Jersey, are known as the Bos taurus. Now, even without knowing too many technical details, if we just look at the external shape of these two cows, we clearly see that the Desi Gomata has a beautiful shape with a lot of curves, whereas the Videshi Gai is more boxish in shape. If you go into technical details, the distinguishing features are that the native Bharatiya breeds, the Desi Gomata, she has a very distinct hump on the back, whereas the Jersey cows or the other varieties of the Bos taurus do not have this hump. This is the first and the most prominent difference. The other is the Desi Gomata. She has large dewlap. Dewlap means the loose folds beneath the neck. Whereas the other varieties, the imported varieties, do not have such a large loose skin folds under the neck. Further, we will see that the tail end of the Desi Gomata is rounded, is beautifully curved. Whereas if you look at the imported cows, they have a flat and a straightish back. The Desi Gomata often has beautiful horns, which look very majestic. The imported ones, some of them, because they have been crossbred, may have some horns, but not as large as that of the Desi Gomata. Of course, within the native breeds also, there are those which may not have a prominent horn, so that cannot always be the distinguishing mark. Apart from this, we will see that the Desi Gomata has a very athletic build. There is a lot of natural intelligence in her. And we find this manifesting in the fact that she does not eat garbage, plastic, and roam around in filth, which is unfortunately seen by those cows that have come from other countries. The Desi Gomata will also never sit or roll on her cow dung. She has a very natural awareness of cleanliness. Whereas with the Jersey cows, most of the time we see that they're covered in their own dung. Talking about the dung, those who have worked with the cow dung of the Desi Gai will notice that the fragrance is very earthy. It is not at all disturbing to the senses, especially when it is fresh. Whereas with the dung of the other cows, there is a stench, and it gets worse and worse as the dung dries. These are some of the common differences that we can observe. Now, coming back to what makes it possible for the cow dung to have the property of preventing sorrow. This is because the cow dung has a specific bacteria called the Mycobacterium vaccae. Now, this is a non-pathogenic bacteria. That means it is not disease-causing. And we can receive this either by contact with the skin or even by inhalation when we work with cow dung. This bacteria is known to stimulate certain neurons, which in turn stimulate the production of important neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin and norepinephrine. These neurotransmitters, along with dopamine, clinical studies have found that any disturbance in these neurotransmitters are the underlying cause of depression. This particular bacteria also has anti-inflammatory properties and immunoregulatory properties, which means that they play an important role in relieving stress. Rural women who still have the practice of smearing the front yard of the home with cow dung will say that it enhances their mood. It makes them feel more energetic and lively. They speak from experience, and that experience is actually based in a very profound science. This same bacteria is also found in mud or soil. That is why gardening is also said to help prevent depression. So if we are unable to put our hands into cow dung, another alternative would be to work with the earth, to work and do gardening. But like with all instructions of Stri Dharma, everything that the woman does benefits not just her, but also the entire family. So when women early in the morning smear their mud floors with gomaya, it was not just her own mental health that was protected, but that of every member of the family. It is with that confidence that the Shastras are saying that those who daily smear their homes with gomaya will not experience depression. Shri Matre Namaha.